Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course from New Earth One Network. This is designed exclusively for your higher self connection and embodiment. Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course. Today, we are looking about 5 steps to a life you adore with vibrant health and energy. My guest today is Gerri McMahon, and she's here to share with us how we can unleash the power of the superconscious. It is all around us, it's part of us, and the wisdom is within us. Hi, Gerri, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's so beautiful to connect. Thank you for inviting me, Lauren. Thank you.
This is an introduction to a course that you're teaching to assist people in accessing the superconscious. Can you share with us how you were led into this work with the superconscious?
Yeah, actually, it was through stress, believe it or not. Through stress and I'm feeling emotional just thinking back, stress and stress-related illnesses just to get me through the day. I mean, I was working a 70-hour week and partying like a nutter as well. And I would always go and see practitioners, shiatsu, aromatherapy, etc., at the weekend or during the week, literally just to get me back into balance. And most of them would just throw their hands up in the air as I left after the treatment because I'd reached such a state of bliss. And then I'd be like, okay, I've got to get back into the zone, and I'd rush out, and they'd be like, oh God, that didn't last long. But I was actually fascinated by their world and how they knew and how they could put me back to shape in an hour, and also allow me to reach these, I wouldn't say ecstatic, otherworldly states. You know, when you have a treatment and you dream and you go off into, is it beta, theta, the other states of being and beautiful dreams. And I was fascinated by, I guess you could, well, I was going to say the woo-woo, but the unknown, what I couldn't explain then. And, you know, I had a heart then, obviously, everyone has a heart, but I wasn't in touch with it. And I had this facade, this Mary Gerri, if I'm positive, everything will work out. That was what I believed. And it took me so long to realize that's rubbish. Underneath, there was a lot of misery, and then obviously all the illness. So I had a heart, and I was producing this show very much like the Jerry Springer show, where people came on and broadcast their woes in front of the nation. And I was pretending to myself, because I still wanted to make a difference in the world, even back then. And I was pretending to myself that I was making a difference, because I'd make sure that the people left the building in a better state than when they arrived. So I'd make sure they go and see the counselor. The show was called Trisha, very, very, and millions of viewers. And then one morning, 7 a.m. producers meeting, I rock up with my coffee, what's happening this week? And then the bombshell dropped. The counseling budget has been cut. And that was the final straw. I wanted to get out of media for years, and it was just a no-brainer. I just thought, right, that's it. And I handed in my notice. Well, not much of a clue of where I was going, but connecting more and more with my heart, and I didn't know what to study. I knew I wanted to move into that world of alternative health. And then I asked myself the question, well, what's your favorite thing to receive? And it was shiatsu. So I basically spent 3 years, God, this was 20 years ago now, nearly, studying and doing a diploma in shiatsu and all the acupuncture points and Chinese medicine and everything. And yeah, it was a game changer. And even at the end of that training, I was still quite cynical about all this stuff. So yeah, it was. I'm glad that happened. It was the final straw and the push that I needed to make that amazing transition.
Yes, that's very interesting. Your own little wake-up call, just looking around and saying that this is not what I want. So very interesting. So again, you stepped into your role by following your passion and your interests and your curiosity. So we are glad that you're going to talk about the superconscious. Is this the superconscious mind, as some people know it? Is it the higher self? How would you identify and describe the superconscious for our listeners?
Okay, so the superconscious it's us, and it's all around us. It's the infinite mind, it's intuition, it's the field, as people like Dr. Lynn McTaggart talk about. And it's actually another level of our consciousness. So we have the superconscious is basically being with us through all time and space, and it will after we're gone. And then we have, so that's our first memory, say, the superconscious. And then we have the unconscious, which comes in the womb in about the third trimester. And it's that part of us, the unconscious, I'm sure everyone knows this, but it's that part of us that keeps the body running, keeps us alive, basically. That's its job. And it's also the part of us that helps us to learn languages, how to drive a car. First, you get in the car, I don't know about you, but my first driving lesson, I was like, okay, how am I going to manage to do all of this together? And eventually you get it. And that's the unconscious. And then one day, you leave your house, you get to work, and you've got no recollection of how you got there. It's an automated, the unconscious looks after automated memories and processes, digestion, all of those kind of things. Like, I'm not thinking, oh my God, how am I going to shape my lips to say this word? It's unconscious. And then we've got the good old self-conscious, the ego. And the self-conscious comes in around the ages of 4 to 7, where we realize that we're separate from our parents. We realize that we're a person, and we become self-conscious. And so we've got these 3 memories. And what's interesting is that for most of my life, and even most of the time as a healer and coach, I was only working with the unconscious and self-conscious memories. But actually the superconscious knows why we have the trauma, the pain, all of those things that are stopping us from creating what we love. Okay. And because what was happening for me in my life was that I would create I'd reach my goals, or I'd create a lot of success, but then I wouldn't be able to hang on to we call it hang with the tension. I wouldn't be able to hang with the tension, and I'd lose it. I'd start working on myself again, because my ego is quite happy when I'm working on myself, because because I'm back in my comfort zone. Okay. And so basically, once we work at the superconscious level, we're basically saying, this is what I'd love. These are the experiences I'd love. And Dr. Joe Dispenza spends a lot of time in his events educating people, because we need the unconscious and the self-conscious on board so that we make these changes, because otherwise, people or a part of ourselves will go, no, not safe. I don't want that. So the superconscious, I sometimes describe it as almost like a ship. It's like a ship. The superconscious is a ship. And if you just imagine that the unconscious is like the captain shouting these commands saying, I'd love to find a partner, I'd love to be thinner, I'd love to create a successful business, whatever it is, right, at the crew. And the crew is the self-conscious. And the self-conscious going, yeah, whatever, we hear you, but actually we haven't, why would we do that? We haven't got the ability to do that. We don't have the drive, the belief. It throws up all of these reasons. Why should I? Because I'm only concerned with staying the way I always have been in my life because I didn't die. Yeah. But then if we were to look at the superconscious as the ship, I hope this metaphor is working. I'm just kind of pulling it out of the air. But the superconscious as the ship, if you were to say, okay, superconscious, what we want to do, we want this big change. We want to be able to save money. But if we've never experienced that, it's kind of like saying, superconscious, I want this ship to be a speedboat. Okay, it's not going to change. It's not possible. But if you were then able to put a big motor on the back of the ship, this magical motor that was able to allow you to move and create what you love, knowing that you have the captain and the crew and the ship all headed in the same direction, then you can create what you love. So the superconscious is it's us, and it's all of us. It's what we're surrounded in, the primordial soup as well. I hope that very long answer answers the question.
It is the quantum field. It is when we go quantum. The word Akashic Records comes to mind. Maybe that's a little separate than what we're talking about, because it's really, I love your description of it being the motor. It is the motor behind it. And so when we're working with the self-conscious, that is really the limiting mind, the self-conscious mind. Would you say that that is where we have beliefs about ourselves and blocks about ourselves, where we should on ourselves, meaning you should be doing this, you should be doing that. You don't have the skills for this, you don't have the money for that. So how do you work with the superconscious mind to reprogram all of it, to make it the motor for what you desire?
Well, there's a few steps in terms of doing that. So, I actually, apart from taking people through the steps and guiding them in the experiential journey so that they can drop the resistance, I do also teach people how to use this system, what I call the respark system, to actually connect with their superconscious so that they can do the work on them. Most people enjoy having a coach do it for them. But the first step is actually just to step into innocence, to we also call that in no sense, to actually step into a place of not knowing, of letting go. And that we've got meditations and various things to assist with this, but to let go of the knowing mind, to really step into that place of, okay, I have no beliefs, no thoughts and feelings, I'm open. It's really that state of the child, the child before all the beliefs and thoughts and feelings come in. So that's the first step, is to step into this place of innocence, of not knowing, of being open, no mind almost. And then the second step is to actually connect with the superconscious. Ask the superconscious, are you there? And by connecting with the superconscious, it's also setting an intention, which is another important part of it. So you're setting the intention to serve the person you're with, or to serve yourself. And then you really just there's some special words that we use to connect with the superconscious, and I'll share them in the training. But you're basically then allowing what's obvious to come to you. And then you're open to receiving. You've already set your intention. You're open then to receiving the information from the field. So whether you're working with someone and they want to create perfect health, vibrant health and energy, or, whatever they want to create their dream business, their dream lover, whatever. What happens then when we're using this is whether it's from our ancestors or whether it's our own pain, trauma, blocks, etc., what comes out is this information of actually what's blocking people from creating what we love. And then we simply use the words, please do a massive change history, and everything was needed so that we can create what we love and dropping the resistance. And what I love about connecting with the superconscious and this system, which I kind of squished into a very short, felt long, but a short answer there. What I love about it is that before, in the training that I'll share and when I'm working one-on-one with people, they get an idea of how much resistance they have from 0 to 10. And then at the end of the process, they then see how much resistance there is. So sometimes they might get to 0. Sometimes they're, it might not be safe to let it all go. So there'll still be a little bit. They might get from 8 to 2 or 8 to 1 or whatever. But then the real clincher, the knowing that something has shifted is if they can take action. And then that's the fifth step of my 5 steps to create what you love. But yeah, that's basically the superconscious and how to connect with it.
Yes, I think that the taking action is probably one of the challenging steps. But if you're working with the superconscious mind and you're getting rid of the resistance, then we know, and we call that putting one foot in front of the other. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I say to my clients very often is, even if you're just imagining what you love, that's still taking action. Sometimes we have a wobbly day, but even if you can imagine that, and that's the beauty as well, we're allowed to have wobbly days, me and the people that I work with, because we have this incredible system where we have a beautiful, solid but flowing morning routine where we're always aware of what we'd love to create in 6 to 12 months, then bringing it back to 90 days, what actions to take, bringing it back to 30 days, bringing it back to 7 days, and then today. And even if you have that wobbly day, great, just get back on the bike tomorrow. It's been a game changer for me, I've got to say.
I love that. The working backwards, seeing the bigger picture and then working backwards. And also the passion that is the driving force behind this. Where does that fit in? You had said it's, the intention, asking the superconscious mind and setting the intention is really key, because without that passion, it becomes work. So passion almost makes it gives it new fuel, doesn't it? It gives it effortless fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, very often people don't have that passion, and that can be related to the fact that they don't have clarity actually on what they'd love to create, especially people that feel insignificant or invisible.
Or beat up in the world, or just through the motions, the stress that you went through in the television world. We lose sight of that interest and passion, don't we?
Oh my God, absolutely. And we're not taught to dream big and to be larger than life, and that we can create what we love. And, I think this is something that I used to be I still am. I love Abraham Hicks. But one of the things they say is, you're never, and I say it as well, it's true, we're never given a dream or a vision of something we'd love to create without the ability to create it. I think that's very important to remember. So passion, and it builds, it's not always there instantly. Often people come to me and they are in that structure of wanting to fix themselves, or thinking they're a problem, or thinking they're the common denominator in some conflict or issues that are going on. And we're not. It's all about structure. What are we focused on? Are we focused on problem solving? Or are we focused on actually creating? And making that shift it's part of the work that I do with people, and part of the huge ahas that they have, so that once they can, gain some clarity on something they'd love beyond the illness, beyond the problem, then they can realize that they're not broken and they don't need fixing. They're perfect as they are. Like in any moment, we've got illness, and it's like, what percentage of that illness are we focused on? Are we focused on, the 10% that might be just really ill and horrible and giving us grief, or we focus on the 90% that is vibrant and juicy and raring to create our dreams?
Yes, stay focused on it. I like that. It was always interesting to me how we put so much weight or so much belief or force, if you will, behind our worries, where we can believe our worries really strongly. And this has to happen. We have to flip it for believing in ourselves and our dreams, believing in that as much or more than the worry, and then just learn how to, and then slowly we'll transition out of that and no longer let that worry take over. Yeah. This is how we ascend and how we shift and change. So that's beautiful. Well, you've got your course then. So here you are with this tool, this technique and strategy, assisting people. Tell us about the course. This is coming up. It's a 4-part course. So what's going to happen? Who is it for?
So it's for the special people. If you're watching this, it's for you. No, it's basically, if you are curious about what life could be like, if you have, it's for people that really have an idea, have a vision, know that they're meant for something more. But it's also for those people, I've been lost at times in my life, and I just needed someone to believe in me, and I needed just a little glimmer of hope. So even if your dream is huge and you want to work with world leaders, or you want it, whatever, or you just want life to be a little bit better, and maybe you're in a place where you're depressed and you really do think that you need fixing, or that you're not complete as you are, it's for you, because I'm going to guide you through these 5 steps to creating what you love, whether that is, this amazing life you adore, living in Hawaii where you're amazing, whatever, or you just want to have a little bit more of a spark. So I know I'm not really talking, I'm not kind of narrowing into a particular niche or anything, because I kind of trust that, the people that resonate with this, that are curious about it, will show up. I had a really big aha. I think it was only today, actually, where I used to specifically work with empaths and HSPs, highly sensitive persons. And I had this huge breakthrough or realization today that actually I'm not an empath. I'm just connected with my superconscious. So it's kind of like what I was seeing as quite damaging and doing my head in and harmful before. And I can't take that. I can't feel other people's energies. I can't get all of this information. Actually, this is such a superpower. And when we're connected with the superconscious, you said something there about this, the journey to ascension. It's feet on the ground and head in the clouds. But when we have this connection with the superconscious, we're able to not only navigate, but actually dance our way through into the new world, the new earth, and effortlessly create what we love. And that can and does just start with a thought, an idea, a glimmer.
Just a thought, an idea, or a glimmer, and following it. So the superconscious mind, or the superconscious, is quantum. How would you, is there a protocol that you use then when you're creating something that you want, like on a daily basis? Resistance, or you mentioned the ancestral programming that may come up in the DNA and our, it's literally within us. What do we do to really anchor into the superconscious and feel it? Do you take notes? Do you meditate?
Okay, so on a daily basis, so I'll talk about, let me talk about connecting with the superconscious. I'm not walking around 24/7 connected with my superconscious. What I do is I access it when I'm in sessions and also during my morning routine. Okay, so part of my morning routine is I read out my choices, which are a list of things that I want to live, I want to create, and there's 4 common orientational choices that all of us share, which are basically telling our 3 memories, our 3 levels of consciousness, this is where we're going. So first thing in the morning, this is what we want to create. So for instance, I choose the end result of vibrant health and energy, or I choose the end result of a life I adore. I choose the end result of living my true nature and purpose. And then the 4th one is I choose the end result of being the predominant creative force in my life. And then we all have about 6 others, which could be related to business, a home we want to create, a relationship we want to create, whatever are important to us. And we get this information of what is true for us to create by taking a shamanic heaven on earth journey, because it's based on a shamanic visioning technique from the Native Americans called the Land of Plenty. So we basically glean our choices from our version of heaven on earth, and then I read each one out every morning, and then I'll spend a little time tuning into 2 of them. I'll get clarity on the vision. I'll get clarity on where I am now in relation to that. So you've got that tension. This is another thing I teach, which is tension is juicy. We're not taught that tension is great, because once you get clarity on what you love and you're really real, which took me many years to be really real about where I am in relation to that, what's the lead that the alchemists referred to, so that I can create my treasure, my goals. Where am I in relation to that? When you have those 2 points, you've created created creative tension. And we're not taught, because this can feel a bit icky and uncomfortable. So we go into what's known as psychological tension, our doubts, our thoughts, our feelings. Oh my God, do I really want that dream? Do I really want that? So every morning, read through my choices and I get clarity on what I love, where I'm in relation to it. Then with that tension, I give it a number. How much tension is there? How much resistance is there to me creating this, what I'd love? And then I connect with my superconscious. And that's when I get information about maybe there's something ancestral. The work of Bert Hellinger shows us that we carry 7 generations of memories in our DNA. And thank goodness, lucky for Bruce Lipton and all these incredible leaders and teachers that we have on the planet, we know that we can change our DNA. So it kind of it's crazy, but it makes sense. We get our looks and things from our parents, our grandparents. So why wouldn't we also have these worries about maybe money or public speaking? You get up on a stage, you can't speak. It could have been to do with an ancestor 4 generations ago. And the superconscious knows where all of this stuff, all of these blocks, all of these fears have come from, because it's as I explained earlier, it's the primordial soup, it's us, but it's also the field. So then I asked the superconscious, using the words that really work to clear that resistance. And then I check in, how much resistance is there? 0, 1, whatever. And then my next question is, well, what action am I going to take? So I get clarity on that. And then before you know it, you created what you love. And it's interesting. But I mean, there's a lot more to it. You know, one of the things is, if we've got a secondary intention for creating something, like for instance, just say I wanted to be a successful speaker. Is that what I love? Is it just what I love because I love it? Or is it because it'll prove that I'm good enough, or make me rich, or make me seem worthy? If we have these secondary intentions, we might create it with great difficulty, but only for a short time. We'll move into a pattern of oscillation. And that's another thing that the superconscious can do. It can bring out any secondary intentions and let them go as well, so that we've really got clarity on, are we creating this just because we love it? Or is the ego sneaking in? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. We often say that is in the head, and the ego would be in the head rather than in the heart.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that process. I love the tips and the strategies that you have for that. And we can see where we are getting in our own way from that tension. So then connecting with the super conscious, you're able to get the steps. Is that how it works for you? You're able to see clearly, oh, you just need to do this. And you work backwards.
Yeah, there's that. But the superconscious clears the resistance. Because you see, the superconscious, it only wants experiences. The unconscious is interested in quantity. Okay. The self-conscious is interested in quality. It wants a good life. The superconscious just wants experiences. It's just, just give it to me. So you're saying, superconscious, no, this is the experience I would love. So please clear that resistance. And the process that I use is actually based on the work of an incredible being called Dr. Gary Flint, who spent 30 years, a psychologist, psychiatrist. He spent 30 years working with people with serious PTSD and trauma. So for years, I was working with the superconscious with the intuition, but Dr. Gary Flint was using the superconscious to actually drop very serious trauma. He was instructing the superconscious. So now what we're doing in this process is we're using the superconscious in a structure where we're not fixing, because we're not broken, but we're saying, this is what we'd love to create. Okay, so we're in that powerful structure of being a creator, not a problem solver. So this is what we'd love to create. Please drop the resistance. Let us see what the resistance is, and it comes forward because we're in innocence. We're in this beautiful state. We're in connection with intuition, you could say, and the superconscious just lets us know what's there. We don't even need to know, oh, that was because at 3 years old you were attacked by a daddy long legs when you were in your crib. We don't even have to know this stuff. It's like, just drop the trauma. So the superconscious can do all of this work. And the change then sticks because we're not working at it from the self-conscious ego level. It's kind of, yeah, in the training, I make it a lot more succinct, and I'm very excited about it, you can probably tell. So I hope it's coming over clear and direct, and I hope it makes sense.
It does. Thank you for that. And so in the training, it is time with you where people can really put these tools to work and have you there as a facilitator. You're a beautiful facilitator for that. Is there a quick moment where you can set us up in a brief meditation so that we can look into our purpose? This is one of the number one questions that we get. What is my purpose? Do you find it too? So could we do a short little meditation to feel into our superconscious, to witness that vibration?
Yeah. So just take a moment to just notice your breathing. And you might want to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And just notice as you're breathing, with each exhalation, you're relaxing more and more. And just notice, just acknowledge any thoughts, feelings, any sounds you can hear, just notice. Now setting the intention to step into innocence. Just setting the intention to get the goodness from this meditation, to access a state of pure innocence. And just imagine now. Imagine that you're walking through a forest, a beautiful, magical forest, and you're walking on, you can feel the ground beneath your feet. You're walking along. You can hear the birds. It's a beautiful summer's day, and the sun is gently rippling through the trees. You can feel it. It's so perfect. And just making this an extra sensory experience as you're walking along. You can smell the herbs and the flowers as you walk along. And then as you walk deeper into this beautiful forest, and it could be a forest in your imagination or one that you love. You're loving just walking along deeper and deeper into this beautiful, magical forest. And as you're walking along, you notice up ahead that the path forks into two. And I want you to choose to take the left-hand path. And as you're walking along on the left-hand path, going deeper and deeper into this magical forest, you notice up ahead a clearing. And there's a clearing in this beautiful forest, and you move towards it. Then you notice that in this clearing, it's just filled with beautiful, vibrant, violet flowers. And everywhere you look now, as you walk into and through this field from horizon to horizon, it's violet flowers. So magical, so beautiful. You look around and the path has disappeared, and you're just in this beautiful field of violet flowers as far as you can see. And you keep walking. Then up ahead of you, you notice this grand, beautiful structure. a temple, this fabulous, beautiful temple. And as you approach it, there are some steps. And you know, as you walk closer to it, that this is a place of pure magic, of higher learning. And as you walk up, you notice the doors are opening of their own volition. And you know, this is just a place of true, pure magic. These doors opened of their own volition. And you walk through into this corridor, through the portal, into this beautiful space of higher learning and magic. And as you're in this beautiful, beautiful temple, you see at the other end of the temple that there's a crib. And you walk towards the crib. And as you walk towards the crib, you notice that there's an innocent, beautiful child in the crib. And it's staring up at you. Beautiful, innocent, adorable baby. And you look at its eyes. And then, as if by magic, you become one with this baby. You become one with this essence of innocence. And you are now lying in this crib, looking up at the stars, experiencing what it's like to be in pure innocence before any of your thoughts, feelings, assumptions, beliefs, perceptions. Before all of that, you're just in pure innocence. And then suddenly you notice that the floor has opened underneath you and you're safely falling, gently falling through space. And all of those old thoughts and feelings, all of those old perceptions, beliefs, they're all leaving you. As you're expanding, your heart is expanding in this space of pure innocence. And you're falling down and down and down through space, watching all of the thoughts and feelings fall, disappear, move away from you. You're in this space of no mind, viewing, watching, observing through the eyes of innocence. And now you slow down. It's almost like someone clicked the switch on a parachute and you slow down. And then you notice the continent on which you live, and then the country, and then the locality that you live in, and then your house. And you move slowly further down, and you back into your body, into your seat, where you are now, viewing the world, keeping your eyes closed, but viewing the world through the eyes of innocence. And now very gently wiggling your toes, maybe have a stretch, very gently. In a moment, I want you to open your eyes. And what I'd love you to do is to just look at something in your room, or maybe outside of the window, through the eyes of innocence, with no perceptions, no preconceived ideas. So gently open your eyes and just notice what you notice. And just spend a few moments in that space, and then ask a question of this beautiful space of innocence with access to all the answers in the field. What's the most important question that you would love guidance on, that you would love an answer on? And when you're ready, just ask that question and just allow that answer to emerge from the stillness. choose to stay in that place. And if you know how to anchor this state, choose to grab your wrist and anchor this state so you can access this beautiful state of in no sense in any moment from now on. Leaving childish ways, being childlike, choosing to access that vibration of childlike innocence whenever you choose. How was that beautiful?
That was very special, and it is illustrative of the importance of relaxing, calming down, and tuning in. The answers are there.
Yeah.
Yes. So expansive, so very expansive. And what a powerful tool that we can all use for everything. There were a couple of questions that I wanted to go into for myself. So I think we're all going to practice this and use this again moving forward. But the one that I focused on is so beautiful and reassuring. And again, as we do this work, as you do this work, assisting people in connecting with this super conscious, we have done our job. It is the way of the future because everything is in order when we do this. We are in harmony.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if everyone was in that state or could access that state, our world leaders, etc.?
Yes. Right. That is the new world. And that's why every person watching this is a new earth leader.
Yeah.
And tools like this absolutely magnificently help and assist in the process. So thank you for sharing that beautiful experience for us. The course that you're teaching, it's here on this webpage, and people can look at that and see what it will involve. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about it?
It's what comes to me, it's like a fridge. What you put in, no, it's like a magical fridge. What you put in, you get out. But with this, what you put in, you know, obviously you have to show up, you have to attend, watch it. And then if you spend, the more and more time you spend practicing, the more you'll get out of it. And you really can create not just a life you adore, but a really magical life. And I'm not selling some perfect life without problems, because it's life. It's, you know, it's real. We things happen, but you have tools to navigate. And not navigate in a fixing myself, I'm going to do therapy, or, you know, I have to live with this problem. No, you know, we're here to live magnificent lives. So, you know, I really hope that you just set that intention to get so much from it. That's one thing I say to my clients all the time. Don't just set one intention, set a load of intentions, because then it's like, yeah, it's we're unlimited beings. And this is another thing that fascinates me. We've got, and what I love about connecting with the superconscious, it's just the beginning. And you know, and this is all backed up with science now, and that I'll share some of that in the training as well, is we've got no idea how unlimited we are. We've got no idea, and we're coming back to that. And the innocence is a great key. It's a great way in.
Yes, that felt really wonderful and fresh and clean and clear. And as we know from beautiful spiritual teachers, we need that childlike innocence. So beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a powerful tool for folks who want to take it into their business world. But even as you said, beyond that, everything, all ways of living with this tool, with this technique is really powerful. And we're looking forward to putting it in our lives more fully. We can watch belief systems fly out the door. Do you think that this helps people recognize the belief systems, or otherwise known as resistance, very quickly? Like,
Yeah.
wow, okay. Um, because the superconscious will reveal that resistance, whether it's from the ancestors or beliefs or programming, or even our own self-conscious mind that judges ourselves too harshly.
Yeah. Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, go on.
no, hold on to your hats as you do this, because things will change in your life. And
Yeah.
do you want to share any examples of clients that you've worked with who've used this tool and this strategy that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, countless healings on a physical level, but also not only creating the healings and the dreams that they want. You know, we've got the 3D stuff like the beautiful houses and the great relationships and all of those. But what's unique about this when we're working with the superconscious rather than the self-conscious, is that we're aware of tension, of creative tension, and we can actually sustain those dreams and goals. Because I think very often, the personal development where we create something or we get to a great state, but we can't sustain it. We lose it, and then we go back and start working on ourselves again. But the difference with working with the superconscious in this method is that, my clients and myself, we create these incredible end results. These healings, increase money, etc. But we can then sustain it and move past that as well. We sustain the success.
Yes, that's it. Not giving up on it when it's so close. It could be right around the corner.
Yeah, because that's when the ego wants you to get right on back to your comfort zone, because it thinks it's that you're going to change when you have the dream. So it will do anything it can to stop you from having it. But here's the beauty, and this is another thing I share in the training, is that we're the same person in our desired reality as we are in our current reality. And if we think that life is going to be different or we're going to be different, the ego is never going to let that happen. Okay. And it's kind of like the example I use very often is, if you can't, just say you want to be a millionaire, just saying that money is your end result, your goal that you want to create. If you can't be happy now with a cheap bottle of wine and someone you love on the beach, you're never going to be happy when you have the millions. And this is such a big part of the work as well. The man, the house, none of it's going to give you that happiness unless you're there now. And the ego won't let you either, because it's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to die if they create that. So you either give up just before you get there, or you get it and then you muck it up, you sabotage it, and you're back to your comfort zone again. And this is something that luckily my clients, when they do create, the health or the wealth or whatever it is, they sustain it, because we're working at that super conscious level now, not the level of the unconscious and self-conscious. So it's very exciting. I'm so excited about it.
Oh, we're glad that you're excited about it. We are you and really looking forward to this. And so again, we direct those watching and listening to go to this page and view it and check it out. If it resonates, this is a beautiful teacher to facilitate your journey on your own path of business, relationships, health, and living vibrantly. Wonderful, Gerri. Thank you so much. The tension, what you were just explaining there about being happy where we are, it is again illustrative of how important vibration is. And we are in a vibration that actually will bring all of this about. And the experience that you led us to put us in a vibration that we can anchor and hold even more. So beautiful. We're looking forward to this. And we thank you for putting this together. Is there anything else you'd like to say as we wrap up our call today?
No, just one thing. Well, apart from thank you so much. It's been incredible to connect. So thank you, Lauren, for your time. And also I'll include the innocence meditation, a longer-ish version. I just kind of made up a lot of what I shared in that meditation. I'll share that meditation as well in the program. But just dream big. One of the things that I notice with my clients is that even though they dream big, once they manifest their dream, it's always more incredible and bigger than even what they dreamt about. So yeah, just dream it, dream big.
Don't forget to dream. Don't get lost in not dreaming, but dream.
Yeah.
Dream. Beautiful. Gerri McMahon, thank you so much for this episode. We are in deep appreciation and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful. Love you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, gorgeous.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.